3 years ago, I was stood in Bonifacio Global City in Manila, one of the financial hubs of Southeast Asia. And on a single street, I passed Google, JP Morgan, O2, Microsoft, Shopify, and a stack of tech startups quietly making tens of millions a year. Every one of those companies, from global giants to fast-moving tech startups, was outsourcing to the Philippines. And not just support roles, they're running operations, project management, admin, finance, coordination, all plugged straight into the business, but sat in Manila. And I remember thinking, if it's good enough for Google, why are UK SMEs still hiring in-house like it's 2011? Let me try and give you a rundown. These companies, they aren't broke. They're not cutting corners. And the more you dive down into the rabbit hole, the more you start to realize they use the Philippines simply just because it works. But that wasn't the main thing that stood out to me. It was the fact that if we scroll down the food chain, you get a 12-person firm in Leeds paying someone £28,000 a year to answer emails and chase invoices. And it's not just the salary. By the time you factor in national insurance, pensions, paid leave, equipment, office space, that £28,000 employee ends up costing nearly £40,000 per year all in. And that's just to manage basic back office tasks that the big guys are paying £12,000 a year for. So why aren't SMEs jumping all over this? Well, the answer to that question, while surprisingly easy to figure out, turned out to be the entire reason behind us founding the Ovara Group. Here's the simple, but at the same time, somewhat outrageous answer. They simply haven't been shown, they haven't been made aware, and they haven't seen a version of outsourcing that actually works for them. Most UK business owners still think outsourcing means sending jobs to a low-cost call centre. They picture poor English, time zone issues, and chaos. But here's the reality. The Philippines is the #1 business process outsourcing destination in the world. Over 1.8 million professionals work in the BPO industry, servicing companies like Google, Amazon, Deloitte, JP Morgan, Salesforce, Canva, Accenture, and Microsoft, to name a few. The industry itself has set a few benchmarks over the years that truly has slowed it to become the global's back-end powerhouse. Firstly, English is an official national language. From toddlers all the way through school, everything is taught in English. And just in case that wasn't enough, the Colombo Plan configured the entire educational system and tailored it towards the Western workplace, both physically and culturally. I won't go into that now, but we do have an entire video on the Colombo Plan itself. I'll link it in the description if you're interested. Then, the one that I might get some bad comments about, the work ethic. It's better in the Philippines. Not because the UK equivalent has a bad attitude, but the reality is a majority of the roles that the BPO sector notoriously fills are the ones that are below or around the national average wage in the UK. In comparison, when that same role goes over to the Philippines, the employee is likely to be on double the national average. On paper, the one who feels more appreciated is always going to outperform the one who feels undervalued. This process really isn't about cutting costs. It's about increasing performance, reducing drag, and removing operational stress. I also think it's important to talk about where the real money is, because like most would think from the outside, this isn't just about hiring software engineers offshore. It's about removing pressure on the back end. The goldmine is in operations, in admin, in inbox management, in customer support, data entry, scheduling, CRM management, and repetitive work that burns your team and your margins. This is where the average SME leaks thousands every single month because they're paying UK salaries to do tasks that could be delivered offshore at a fraction of the cost. And again, we're not guessing. A 2023 UK study showed that over 42% of SMEs reported staffing and operational overhead as their single largest barrier to growth. And most of those same companies have never seen an offshore alternative. It's a complete market-wide blind spot. Most of these companies are already remote to some extent post-COVID. They're already using Zoom, Slack, Trello, Asana, Google Drive. They're fully set up for offshore. But they've never connected the dots. They don't need a restructure. They don't need to learn new software. They just need someone to say, here's a better way to do the work you already hate, for less than half the cost. That's it. There are 5.5 million SMEs in the UK. The majority haven't offshored, not because they're against it, but because they've never seen it done cleanly. And in 2025, with inflation, labour shortages, wage pressure and rising overheads, they now can't afford not to consider it. This is where the opportunity opens up. If you're the one who brings them that model, if you simplify it, structure it and remove the friction, you become indispensable. You're not selling outsourcing, you're selling clarity. And you're delivering margin back into their business in the easiest way possible. So whether you're running a company now or thinking of launching something new, this isn't guesswork. This isn't a short-term play. This is how modern businesses are built: lean, distributed and global, with the right people, in the right roles, at the right price. And the question is simple. If Google's already doing this, why aren't you?